Modern esports are built on absolute precision. At the highest levels of games like Valorant, League of Legends, or Counter-Strike, victories aren't usually decided by raw talent alone. They are won through delicate economies, exact ability timings, and 5 players acting in perfect sync. But that extreme coordination comes with a fatal flaw. When a strategy relies on 5 perfectly moving parts, all it takes is for one piece to break down, one missed rotation or lost duel, for the entire tactical structure to collapse. Which brings us to the ultimate disruption, the hard carry. This is the moment when a single player refuses to obey the game's internal logic, overriding an opponent's strategy with mechanical execution that the system simply didn't account for. We are going to deconstruct some of the greatest individual performances in esports history to show exactly how one person can dismantle a perfectly oiled machine, breaking them down into 3 distinct tiers of dominance. Analyzing these specific performances allows us to look past the macro strategy and identify the moments where the individual takes full control of the map. The first tier is the spark. Here, a player provides a single moment of high-impact execution that collapses the opponent's momentum and reverses a mathematical defeat. Take coldzera at the 2016 MLG Columbus Major. Luminosity Gaming was facing elimination in the semifinals against Team Liquid, down 15-9 on Mirage. Statistically, the map was practically over. Then, holding the B-side apartments, coldzera took an AWP, jumped into the air, and fired a blind shot that somehow killed 2 players at once. He defied the core accuracy mechanics of Counter-Strike and erased them from the server. That single shot paralyzed Team Liquid. Luminosity seized the moment, stringing together a miraculous 10-round win streak to force overtime and eventually take the map 19-15. You see the same effect in League of Legends. At the 2022 World Championship, DRX top laner Kingen was the overlooked underdog in a finals match against the powerhouse T1, staring down a 2-1 deficit. Locking in Aatrox, Kingen simply took over. He survived a heavy 2 versus 3 dive, solo-killed his legendary lane opponent Zeus, and when Faker and Zeus attempted a desperate backdoor play, Kingen recalled just in time, single-handedly defending the Nexus to keep DRX's championship dreams alive. That's the power of the spark. It acts as a targeted strike of psychological warfare, shattering the enemy team's composure before the final buzzer. Our second tier is the anomaly. Here, a player's raw output is so overwhelmingly high that they break the statistical ceiling of the game itself, rendering them impossible to counter. Look at Kong Kong, or ZeemJJK, during the VCT Champions 2024 Grand Finals. Against Team Heretics, he dropped a record-setting 111 kills and secured back-to-back aces in a single best-of-5 series, dragging Edward Gaming to an international trophy. You even see this in physics-based games like Rocket League. At the RLCS 2026 Boston Major, Gentlemate's player Nas delivered a terrifying masterclass against Team Vitality. This chart highlights Nas's extreme play. In the opening games, he scored 3 times on exactly 3 shots, a mathematically perfect conversion rate. By the series' end, he shattered the LAN record with 12 total goals, earning a flawless 10 rating. Or take Quartz in the 2025 Overwatch World Finals. On hitscan heroes, he forced the enemy to dedicate nearly all their resources just to dive him, yet continuously survived and won duels despite being hopelessly outnumbered. The true terror of the anomaly is helplessness. The opposing team knows exactly what the player is doing, but they physically do not have the in-game resources required to stop them. The final and rarest here is the untouchable. This is an aura of absolute, error-free invincibility that a player maintains over an entire tournament run, or even an entire historical era. In 2021, Sentinels brought in TenZ as a last-minute stand-in right before the VCT Masters Reykjavik tournament. With 0 permanent practice with the roster, expectations were grounded. But stepping onto that massive international stage, TenZ systematically dismantled the competition. He posted a massive 289 average combat score, guiding Sentinels to sweep the entire tournament without dropping a single map. Taking that concept to its absolute limit, look at Super Smash Bros. Player Zero in 2015. He won 56 consecutive tournaments, And at EVO that year, against nearly 2,000 players, he took the title without dropping a single round. Zero's Diddy Kong was a fortress. He maintained absolute control over the game's pace, instantly analyzing his opponent's habits mid-set and completely erasing their game plans by their next stock. In the hypermodern era, Counter-Strike's Zaiwu pulled this off in 2025. Playing with quiet composure, he secured back-to-back major MVPs by consistently finding the highest value plays and almost never making a mistake. These players turn peak performance into a baseline expectation, proving that it is possible to operate at a flawless level for months at a time. These hard carries rewrite regional history and establish the blueprints that future generations spend years trying to replicate. As time goes on, esports will inevitably become even more heavily optimized. Teams will lean harder into data analytics, deeper coaching staffs, and stricter tactical ecosystems to try and control every variable. But no matter how flawlessly those tactical systems are engineered, they will never be entirely airtight. Raw human willpower and split-second instinct will always remain the ultimate unplannable variable, because at the end of the day, a perfect system can always be broken by a perfect player.